teach a child to read, give a child a chance. It's as simple as that.
Hey, it's Tony with Teach a Kid to Read, and today I'm with Jeff. And Jeff is from Camano Island, Washington. Hello, Jeff. Tell me a little bit about where you live.
Well, like you said, I live on Camano Island, Washington, which is part of the San Juans, technically. There's a lot of islands up here. And the great thing about Camano is you don't have to take a ferry. There's a bridge to it. So some people say, well, then you're not really an island. But as far as I'm concerned, it's great not to have to take a ferry. So it's just north of Seattle. As a crow flies, it's not very far from Seattle. But
big town, small town?
It's not really a town. There is no town on the island. The nearest town on the mainland is Stanwood. And but Camano is just Camano. It's just a rural community.
All right. So but we're here to talk about literacy. How'd
Right.
you come to care about literacy? Tell me that.
Yeah, well, I have a really, really good friend who's very involved in literacy programs, and he and I were talking about some of the things that they were doing. This was years ago, and I just thought, wow, this is fantastic. I mean, I'm a reader. I read a lot with my daughter when she was younger, and I said to him, God, I wish I lived closer so that I could be involved. And he said, well, don't you have a school nearby? And I said, well, yeah, as a matter of fact, just up the road, there's a great school. So I called him up and made an appointment with their volunteer coordinator. And before I knew it, I was reading with a wonderful third grade teacher and just had a ball. I really enjoyed it. And it was so easy. And the thing that was unique was when I showed up, they said, well, do you have a child here? Or are you a grandparent? I said, no. Then what are you doing here? And I said, well, again, I'm just interested in helping kids read because I know the statistics. And if they're not reading by the time they're finishing third grade, there's bad things. And I just wanted to be part of a process that maybe helped that.
Okay. So I'm a little confused on the details. So most people get recruited to read and then they show up, and those people who want to read, normally they go to like a literacy organization, has all the systems set up to make it super easy. But is there no literacy program near you?
No, I mean, there might be. I don't know about it. The thing that was great for me, I really was fortunate because of what I wanted to do, they put me in a third grade class, and I think they put it out there to their teachers and third grade teachers, and I got paired with this teacher who just couldn't wait to have just somebody volunteering and working with.
That's great.
And so she put together a program. Basically, I mean, teachers know where their kids are at. And
Right.
So she would put me with the readers that were struggling. And all I did was I just listened to them read. That was it. It was dead easy. I got to know them, of course, over the course of the year. But what was great is that eventually a lot of the students wanted to read with me. I kind of felt somewhat like a celebrity. They called me Mr. Jeff. And so there were weeks that I would go and she let just anybody who wanted to read come out. I'd read just outside their classroom door in the hallway. So
you literally just walked down to the local grade school and essentially or metaphorically knocked on the door and said, I'm a volunteer, use me. And they said,
yeah. And after that, I had to go through, their protocols of volunteer, just clearances and make sure that I wasn't some weird stalker, child stalker. And that was simple. And the interesting thing is that COVID happened, after a couple of years. And so it's been a while. And so I just re-signed up to start reading again. And now all of the things that, you used to have to attend in person, to get clearances and stuff like that, it's all online now. So it's even easier now to sign up and be a volunteer.
It's so great. And I mean, after COVID, there's more need than ever. So
Absolutely,
many kids are behind.
Yeah, I know.
And there's nothing that replaces the one-on-one attention, that students get with a reading mentor. What's been the impact? Like, what would you say? Like, hey, it's a terrible thing to go through. Nothing good ever comes of it. Or would you say it's generally a good thing? There's the impact. I'm just curious.
You mean being a volunteer?
Being a volunteer. Yeah.
Oh man. I mean, I love it. Initially I didn't know what to expect, but again, I was put with a very experienced teacher.
Hmm.
And I remember after about 2 weeks or so working with some of these kids that she put me with, and I said to her after one of the sessions, and the kids were obviously not there. I said, "Man, some of these kids are really, really behind."
Hmm.
And I said, "Well, what are we going to do?" And she said, "Well, Jeff, we got a whole year." And I go, "Oh yeah, right. That's what teachers do. That's what you do." And sure enough, I mean, to see these kids at the end of the year, just the confidence, and
Wow.
it wasn't like they'd become amazing readers, but they had become readers, and
So
they
good.
had confidence, and they loved to read. And I didn't. All I did was I was just there, and I just listened to them, and I got to know them, and I supported them and encouraged them. That's all I did.
Love it. Everybody, that's Jeff. He's a DIY literacy program creator in his little island there, and I'm Tony, and this is Teach a Kid to Read.